We all know and have heard over and over again that retinol is the gold standard when it comes to anti-aging skincare, with its ability to tighten and firm the skin, help with fine lines, wrinkles, tone, texture, you name it, retinol does it. However, I find as a dermatologist that not everyone uses this ingredient to its fullest potential to get those maximum benefits. So today, as a dermatologist, I'm sharing all of my retinol secrets to help you get the most out of this amazing anti-aging product. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm Dr. Sam Ellis. I'm a board-certified dermatologist in Northern California, and I created this channel to help you understand your skin and hair and nails and find products and sometimes even procedures that work for you. So if you like that type of content, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you never miss a video, and give this one a thumbs up. Also, little shout out to Haru Haru Wonder, who's partnering with me on this video. If you're not familiar, they are an amazing Korean skincare brand that you can find on Amazon. I love their products so much. I've been recommending them for years. I feel like they do affordable, sensitive skin friendly skincare so well. And a little bit later in this video, I'm going to be talking about their awesome retinol product. I really wanted to make this video because I have found that with the rise in social media, more and more people know what retinol is. They understand that it's a great anti-aging skincare ingredient that's going to help with fine lines, texture, tone, brightening of the skin, but they were never really taught how to pick a good retinol, how to really incorporate it into their routine successfully, and how to get the most out of it. So that's what this video is all about. It's my tips and tricks that you can apply to your everyday retinol practice so that you can get the most anti-aging benefits. And with that, let's start with tip number one, which I feel like makes all of the difference in the world with how successful you are going to be on this retinol journey, which is to start with a low potency retinol. Retinol in and of itself comes in different strengths, and if you want to go even more powerful, you can then bump up to retinaldehyde, which is also available over the counter at drugstores, online, etc. Or you can even push past that to prescription retinoids like tretinoin. And something I've noticed so much more in the past few years are patients coming into my clinic having never used any type of retinoid at all. So they've never even used like a gentle retinol, and right out of the gate, they want to get prescription tretinoin. And particularly for patients who have more sensitive skin, rosacea, eczema, etc., that is not always the best idea. Tretinoin is fantastic. It's very well studied in its ability to walk back those signs of aging. However, it is pretty irritating to the skin, and there are lots of people that no matter how hard they try will never be able to tolerate tretinoin. And there's more people who on their tretinoin journey get really discouraged because they have so much irritation, breakouts, etc. when they're trying to acclimate to that product. So when we're talking about incorporating topical retinoids for cosmetic use, it is almost always my recommendation to start with a gentle retinol or retinaldehyde product. Allow your skin to acclimate to that. See what it does for your skin. A lot of people never need to go to something more potent because they see so many benefits with retinol alone without having that irritation, peeling, flaking, etc. that is sometimes unavoidable with these higher strength products. In the past, I've made a video about my favorite beginner retinol products, and now I feel like I need to add this one to the list. This is the Haru Haru Wonder Black Rice Night Night Retinol Serum, and ooh, it's so good. They even put it directly on their packaging for beginners. I love that they're owning that. This is truly a formula that is designed with sensitive skin and newbie to retinol skin in mind. Not only does it have that 0.08% microencapsulated retinol, and that microencapsulation is really great because it helps keep the retinol stable and penetrating the skin really evenly, but this formula has so many other skin supporting goodies in there. It's got 1% bakuchiol, which is another really nice anti-aging skincare ingredient that's sort of going to piggyback off of and enhance the benefits that you're already getting from your retinol. This formula also has ceramides and sunflower seed oil and that black rice ferment that Haru Haru Wonder products are so well known for. And those are going to work together to keep your skin soft and smooth and protected and hydrated while you're building up that retinol use. The texture of this is also gorgeous. It is like a true milky serum. It just blends so perfectly on the skin. It layers well with other skincare products. Plus, this product is affordable. You can get it on Amazon. Just huge fan. I have no doubts that if you try this, you will not be disappointed. But now let's move on to some other tips and tricks you can use to get the most out of whatever retinol product you're using. You may have heard of the sandwich method when it comes to applying your retinoid. And what that really means is you're applying a layer of moisturizer, then your retinol product, then another layer of moisturizer. So sandwiching your retinol between two layers of moisture to help you tolerate the product better. And that can work really well in terms of not getting irritated, but if you have a really thick layer of moisturizer, underneath your retinol, then there's sort of this thought of like, well, is that decreasing the penetration of my retinol? And does that make using a retinol even worth it to me? So rather than sandwiching between 2 layers of moisturizer, I like to do a sandwich where we're putting on some type of hydrating or skin supporting serum, then our retinol, then a moisturizer on top. The beauty of using a serum or multiple serums underneath your retinol is that you're still getting a little bit of buffering and cushion and support to your skin before you're putting that retinol on, but those serums are not generally occlusive, so they are not going to inhibit that retinol's ability to penetrate into the skin. For example, I will often take my Prequel Multi-Quench Hydration Serum and put a layer of that on first before I go in with my retinoid. Even though I've been using retinoids for so long, I still have rosacea and sensitive skin, and I like having a little bit of a buffer. Plus, I like that instant hydration and plumping I get from the serum while I'm sort of waiting for those long-term results of my retinoid. And then, in addition to that, that serum gives a slight bit of slip to the skin so that when I go in with my retinoid, it's much easier for me to easily distribute a small amount of product, because we're not using a lot when we're using a retinoid, and just ensure that it's getting everywhere that I want it to go. Now, if you want to amp up your anti-aging benefits even more, you could think about layering a peptide serum underneath your retinoid. Peptides and retinoids are very complementary when it comes to anti-aging benefits. So for example, the Maylove Peptide Squad, the peptide serum from Medicate, love both of those, really good peptide blends. You could put that right under there, and now you're getting multiple skin enhancing benefits, plus you're getting a little bit of protection from that serum. But what I've been doing a lot lately is actually incorporating a peptide moisturizer on top of my retinol. So I'm doing the sandwich, but I'm doing my hydration serum, then my retinoid, then a peptide moisturizer. You guys know I love this one from Allies of Skin. So many good peptides in here. And in particular, this one has palmitoyl tripeptide 8, which is anti-inflammatory. So it's particularly good if you're using a retinoid and you're worried about getting irritation from that, because this is also going to be calming and soothing. So using a serum is one way to help distribute a retinoid very evenly over your facial skin. But the other thing I tend to recommend is something called the tiny dot method. This is particularly helpful if you are using a thicker, richer, creamier retinoid product, because when it comes to retinoids, for your entire face, you only need a pea-sized amount or a chocolate chip-sized amount. And most people will look at that amount and go, well, how the heck am I supposed to get that over my entire face? So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna squeeze your retinoid onto the tip of your finger. You are going to split that retinoid between your 2 fingertips, and then you are going to start on your forehead or at the periphery of your face and make tiny little dots all around your face, working from the periphery towards the center. Once you have all those tiny dots distributed, then you are going to use your fingertips to sort of connect the dots. I think once you start applying your retinoid this way, it's pretty hard to go back. The other purpose of having you start at the periphery of your face with that tiny dot method is that by the time you get towards the center of your face, you have slightly less product there, and these areas tend to get a lot more irritated. So by distributing slightly less retinoid to the center of your face, you're gonna have less flaking and peeling in those areas. Now, if you're still getting irritation in those areas, that's when I recommend a technique called pre-slugging. Traditional slugging is where you take a petrolatum-based product like Vaseline or Aquaphor and you apply it over the entirety of your skincare to lock everything in. The opposite of that is pre-slugging, where you take Vaseline or Aquaphor or some other type of occlusive ointment and you apply it to your skin before you go in with your retinoid so that it acts as a buffer and reduces penetration of your retinoid to those more sensitive areas. I love this method, especially for the more sensitive areas of the face, like around the eyes, the little crook of the nose, and around the mouth and lips, because I find that a lot of people get irritation in those areas and then they stop using their retinol in its entirety because they can't tolerate it in certain spots on their face. So instead, if you just pre-slug those areas, then you can continue to get the benefits of your retinoid elsewhere. Even with doing all of those things, if you cannot tolerate your retinoid every night, I'm gonna ask you to drop your retinoid down to every other night or even every third night. But another tip is on the nights that you are not using your retinoid, don't just use your regular moisturizer on your skin, use a true barrier support and repair product. And those are gonna be products like the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm or the Rhode Barrier Butter, love that one, or the Prequel Skin Utility Balm. All of these are going to be thicker, richer, more skin supporting, more reparative, more soothing to your skin so that on the next night when you go in with your retinoid, your skin is actually ready to receive it and benefit from it. Now, another thing that's going to affect the efficacy of your retinoid product is whether or not it's expired. Now, I'm sure this seems really obvious, but all the time I have patients coming in, bringing in the products that they're using, I'm looking through them, and their retinoid expired many months, if not years ago. This is particularly important for retinol and retinaldehyde because those ingredients are notoriously unstable. So if you're using expired product, it's just not going to be working that well. And it's not as simple as just looking at the expiration date, because once you open the product, you actually need to defer to something else called the period after opening symbol, which is also going to be on the packaging. And that tells you how many months that product is going to be good or stable or fresh after you open it. And for most retinoids, that's 3 to 6 months. So don't waste your time applying unstable, ineffective retinol. And those are my top retinoid tips. I hope you found this video helpful. When it comes to mastering a skincare ingredient, aside from sunscreen, you gotta know what you're doing with your retinol. So if you have any other tips or tricks or things that have helped you along your retinoid journey, definitely let us know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for being here. You mean the world to me. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you next time.